G'day viewers, welcome back to another video. A couple of videos back I did a video with this new furnace forge that I bought, and it didn't quite work out. Now I am going to make changes to it. Just discuss some of the things that people had said to me, because there was some good feedback. One guy said that I need to treat the inside or the insulation and line it with like foundry cement or something, but it's already been treated. It's not soft to squish, and inside it's hard like concrete. I mean, you can squish it if you push hard enough, but it's not as soft as what normal kaolin would be on its own. It's obviously been treated with a solution, and I saw a mega geek make his furnace, and he put some stuff where he sprayed it on there and it sunk into the kaolin and firmed it up, and I'm pretty sure that's what's been done to this. So I think that part of it's been sorted. I still believe that the hole here is too big, so I will be laying another sheet of kaolin wool on top with a smaller hole cut in it. Also, the the regulator that came with the foundry is a 30 psi regulator. I was running it on 20 psi, which is what someone had told me is the required psi rating. I'm thinking next time of running it on the 30. There must be a reason why they gave me a 30 psi regulator, so I'm guessing it should be run on 30 psi. I believe with that extra bit of pressure and a smaller hole on top here, it would probably solve the problem. So the next time I use it, I'll do those two things. If it still doesn't work properly, then I can try and find more solutions. Anyhow, the reason why I used that is because my electric furnace had stopped working. I got this off eBay, but it's not a Chinese cheapie. As you can see here, it's made in Italy. It's a good one, right? Now I've been to places that sell furnaces. They couldn't help me, couldn't or wouldn't, I don't know which one. They just said no, can't do it. I spoke to my brother, who's an electrician. He was about as handy as an ashtray on a motorbike. So I figured I'd try and look inside and see if I can find a problem. Now, I know nothing about electrical. I just figured that if there was a wire come loose or some corrosion or something like that, that I would spot it. I opened it up inside and there was absolutely nothing wrong. Everything looked really good in there. So I guessed that maybe the thermostat had gone, because what was happening, and I've heard this has happened to lots of other people, which is why I'm making this video, is it turned on fine and it heated up fine. If there was an issue with it, I guess it would have not done that. It would have not turned on, or it would not heat it up. But it did. It heated up fine. Only when it got to the required melting point, which I set on here. It didn't matter what temperature I set it at. Whatever it got to, say I set it at 900, when it got to 900, it would trip the safety switches in the house. If I ran it at a different temp, if I set it to 1000 or 600, it didn't matter what it was I set it to, as soon as it got to that melting point, it would trip the safety switch in the house. And it's done it at two different houses, so I know that the electrical system in the house is fine. Couldn't work out what's causing it. And the only thing my brother could tell me is that if there's a short anywhere, that's what the RSDs or RCDs or whatever they're called, is the safety trips, are supposed to trip when there's a short somewhere. And he couldn't tell me what would cause the short. He said, without seeing the schematics, it's all electrical diagram rubbish, I can't help you. So, without wanting to be beaten, I don't like being beaten, I figured I'd play around some more with it. And what I found Inside there's a probe. I already knew there's a probe in there, and it's what tells you the temperature. And I'll shine a torch in there and see if I can show you. You can see down there in the corner is the probe. And see all that black stuff on the floor around it? That probe was just caked in carbon. It was coated completely in carbon. And I thought, that doesn't look, I don't remember what it was like when I got it, but I'm sure it didn't look like that. So I got a screwdriver down there and it all broke off nice and easy. So I got down to what I thought was metal, and I grabbed a fine little file. It's a metal file, but it's like a nail file. And I just roughed it up a little bit just to try and get any residual carbon off that probe. And I did that, got it all nice and clean. And then I thought, I wonder if that was the problem. So I dry ran it. I tested it without anything in there. I put the crucible back in and tried it at 3 different temperatures, and each one of them worked perfectly fine. And what it does is it gets, so I set it at 600, it'll get to 598, and then it will stop, and then 599, and then stop, and then 600 and stop. It will go backwards to 599, 598, then back up to 599, 600. So it's supposed to hover around the temperature that you want. It's designed that way, and it'll keep it there for as long as you need it. They say don't run it for prolonged periods of time, but it also said in the instructions when I bought it to have the melting temperature slightly higher than what you need. Obviously, I think silver melts at something like 961 or something like that. So you set it at slightly higher, maybe 970 is what I ran it at. The last test, I didn't have any silver in there. I just put it at 970, and it worked. It got up to 969, stopped for a bit, 968, 969, and then went 970, stayed there for a bit, and it went back to 969, back to 970, and it was working perfectly. And I'm tickled pink. So none of the safety strips tripped or anything like that. So it's doing exactly what it should have. That probe was obviously the problem. I figured there must be other people who are having the same issue, and like me, were racking their brain trying to find out a solution for it. So I'm basically making this video to show people what could be the problem with theirs if it's doing the same thing that mine was doing. Okay, so if you guys have got one of these furnaces and you're having problems, try that, and I hope that it will solve it for you. It certainly did for me, and I didn't want to throw it away. I didn't know what else to do, couldn't find anyone to fix it, so I gave it a go. Alright, so good luck. I hope this helps you, and I hope this gets your furnace working if you've had the same problem. Thanks for watching. Bye.